Hi everyone, I am here again for another lecture in Profit 3, the teacher and community, school culture, and organizational leadership. But before I start, let us recall some names that gave impact in education. We have Socrates, Aristotle, Plato, John Locke, Karl Marx, and Confucius. So does this name ring a bell to you? Yes, they are titos and titas in the field of education. They are the philosophers that help us establish our principles in education. For this lecture, we'll be discussing about philosophical perspectives of education. Accordingly, education practitioners and teachers are here to enrich philosophical heritage. Philosophers and thinkers passed into us various philosophies that provides perspectives and standpoints to man's continuous quest for truth and life questions. As a pre-service teacher, you need to develop a certain level of awareness of your philosophy of teaching. This awareness is vital to ensure a learning environment that is responsive to the needs of your learners. These beliefs may be influenced by your experiences over time in your family, school, church, and other institutions, and may lead to actionable solutions that are responsive to dysfunctional aspects of the educational system in the country. In the case of curriculum, Dizon and Reyes 2015 explained that philosophy helps school reach answers to significant questions. Questions like why does the school existed, what subject would be of value to the students, or which methods and approaches shall be best to help serve the purpose of the school. Every activity in the school is influenced in a one way or another by a philosophy. There are many philosophies that education books may discuss, but for this particular section, the four main philosophies presented by Ornstein and Hankins will be illustrated. The first philosophy is perennialism, so I know some of you are already familiar with this. But as a philosophy, perennialism is described as conservative and inflexible. Perennialists believe that educational values are universal truth and it no longer necessary to change the curriculum. Looking at the curriculum in the lens of perennialism allows us to understand the following. First is the curriculum should teach the universal truth, and thus curriculum should be the same for everyone. They capitalize on provoking same curriculum so as to provide equal opportunity for education. Also, the curriculum of the perennialist is subject-centered. It draws heavily on defined disciplines or logically organized bodies of content, but it emphasizes teaching, learning of languages, literature, science, and arts. Perennialists also viewed the teachers as an authority in a particular discipline, and teaching is considered an art of imparting informational knowledge and stimulating discussion. To continue about perennialism, the curriculum that is influenced by perennialism offers subjects and courses on classical knowledge that has been taught for years, such as science, literature, geography, and mathematics. This draws lessons from great books which are significant to any civilization. They teach lessons that are of perpetual significance to all people around the world. Perennialism believes that the role of teachers is to assist the students to think with reason. Thus, perennialist educators focus on the teaching liberal topics and not on educational topics, and they concentrate on building up rationality. So that is for perennialism. Now we will be discussing about essentialism. If you are already in the second or third year in college, essentialism might be a familiar word to you. But to give you a sort of review, the term essentialism comes from the word essential, which means basic, main thing, or necessities. As an educational philosophy, essentialism advocates that schools should not try to radically reshape society, but should try to transmit traditional moral values and intellectual knowledge that students need to become model citizens. Essentialisms can be further described by the following detail.
First is, this philosophy concentrates on the culture and traditions of the past. It believes the students need to have academic discipline and moral training to overcome their natural tendencies or their fears and for them to gain confidence. It practices back to basics approach to education and instill traditional virtues for them to gain moral values. And it advocates longer school days in challenging academic books. Just like perennialism, essentialism is into reading. And it focuses on the essential skills of the three R's. These are reading, writing, and arithmetic. Essentialists believe that teachers are the sole authority in a subject area. Thus, teaching in the lens of essentialist philosophy is teacher-centered. They focus heavily on achievement tests, scores as a means of evaluating progress in education. Next is progressivism. As an educational philosophy, this emphasizes that the basis of education should dwell on the fact that humans by nature are social beings and learns best in interaction with others. Thus, education must promote a democratic social living. This philosophy was founded by John Dewey, who argued that the role of education is to transmit society's identity by preparing young people for adult life. For us to understand more about progressivism, it is described through the following. One is, it emphasizes on learning by doing or hands-on projects, expeditionary learning, and experiential learning, and employ collaborative and cooperative learning projects. These collaborative and cooperative learning projects does not only mean that it should be a student's project. It can be the school's project or between teacher and students projects. Also, it puts strong emphasis on problem solving and critical thinking and stress group work and development of social skills. This development of social skills also involves students' way in interacting with people outside the school or in the community, people in the community. Also, it believes in understanding and action as the goals of learning as opposed to rote knowledge. And progressivist believes that teachers should be provided with interdisciplinary learning, not confined to focusing only on one discrete discipline. And last philosophy or approach is Reconstructionism. Reconstructionism favor reforms and argue that students must be taught how to bring about change. Accordingly, it is a philosophy which aims to improve and reconstruct the society, which advocates an education for change. So if your goal is to change how education educate your students, then you're a part of Reconstructionism. For us to understand more about Reconstructionism, it is being defined through the following. One is, it concentrates on teaching social problems in the classroom. So what are those social problems? So it can be the nowadays, say for example, we can include the COVID, di ba? It is one of the society's problem na since it's rampant. Na. Another thing is the income of the government. Na. Sometimes politics are included to the social problems. Next is, it believes that schools should take the lead in changing and reconstructing society. They are the one who should uplift the minds of their students to change the things that needs to be changed in the country or the society. Also, it teaches to establish new cultural patterns and eliminate social evils. Social evils are those things that create problems inside the society, and it emphasizes the discussion of social questions and the quest to create a better society and worldwide democracy. Accordingly, teachers in the Reconstructionism philosophy is viewed to be agents of change, cultural renewal, and reforms. So that's all for the different approaches. For you to have a clearer understanding of the approaches that I have discussed a while ago, I have placed the module in your Google Classroom. So kindly take time reading it for clarification. But everything that I have discussed here is found there. Anyway, so for us to end our discussion, let us be reminded of this statement given to us by Cesar Chavez. It says here that real education should consist of drawing the goodness of the best out of our own students. I know it's wrong spelling, but hopefully you understand the meaning inside the code or the message. So thank you for listening. Have a good day. God bless.